right, let's get started. Welcome everyone. I hope everyone's going well tonight. We are joined here today with Socks, who's like, sup? Hopefully everyone's going well. Some good news, I was able to do a release on the weekend to fix up the sprint information sort of stuff, so that's out and about. What I also did a couple more fixes. The great news is, I'm just going to close that. I'm going to bump that off to the right so you guys can actually see what's in here. We only have 3 more issues at the moment. This will change. Assigned for this 031. So all the other issues we will actually fix in 032. So yeah, there's not much to do bug-wise left, which is awesome. We still need to deploy the GDPR, which requires me to implement all the unit tests, which requires me to finally finish off the fixtures for it. So we'll probably do the fixtures today and then jump straight into deploying the doing the unit tests and then deploying the GDPR. From there, we've got more code coverage / unit tests to do, a shakeout test, and documentation, and fixing those 3 bugs. But I think these 3 bugs are not going to be overly hard. We also have Kanban board 2. We've got a couple of more things in here that we need to just tidy up and finish off. So yeah, we've got 20 items in progress. I've started moving everything over which I wanted to finish for 031 into the in progress branch. Yeah. So we've just got to start doing a lot of that. Sorry, I keep dropping stuff. All right, let's jump straight into it. Let's just close everything. Minimize everything. Let's actually get into the site itself. Oh, I haven't booted up Docker yet. Let's get status. Let's pull. We're on the develop branch. We're just pulling in a bunch of stuff. Let's get checkout main. Get pull. Make sure the main's up to. Okay, get checkout develop. I know that there are a couple of changes done on main. I'm just pulling them in at the moment, so everything should be stock standard. I should do that with get checkout documentation. I'm gonna pull that in. We're gonna touch this without sock start. No, she still came over. All right, git merge main into here. Git push. All right, all 3 branches should be in sync now, which is great. So yeah, let's get started. I'm just going to remove the database because we're going to rebuild it. We're going to go Python 3. We need to actually open up our virtual environment at the moment. So Python 3 manage. We want to migrate. And then what we want to do, Python 3 manage, we want to load data. So we're going to go NearBeach fixtures, and then we're going to do the GDPR setup wizard. So we're just importing that data into there. Excuse me 1 second. I am actually going to start the Minio environment. That's just for all the images and so forth like that. So yeah, nothing exciting. And so then, welcome. Should we learn Rust in 2026? If you want to learn Rust, sure. Depends what you want to do. So yeah, like for example, Rust web development. And I've just hit an ad break on Twitch. We tend to do this so no one misses out on any content, but I'm happy to answer your questions whilst the ad break on Twitch runs. We run ads on Twitch to stop the pre-rolled ads, which suck. So, for example, I've just looked up Rust web development. Rust offers a compelling option for web development, particular applications running high-performance, memory-safe, and concurrency, whilst not mature as a web ecosystem. All right. Got some information around that. What about Rust for gaming? Memory safety. All right, cool. Yeah, honestly, it depends what you want to do. So my recommendation is look up what frameworks are available for what you want to do in that particular language. If it's set up and there's a big ecosystem around it, yeah, definitely. There is definitely a use case for Rust out there. All right, we're about 12 seconds left for the ads. Socks is also here. She's like, hello. There we go. We'll give that little camera angle a little shot there. All right, welcome back, everyone. All right, going back into this, what we want to do is we've done the fixtures. I'm just going to boot up the environment. Ooh, I should also open up data grip to... which one is data grip? Oh, shove it over there. And I keep accidentally clicking the information thing by mistake, but that's fine. All right. So that's over here. What we've got to do is we've got to set up pretty much... We've got to set up the fixtures so that we can sort of test for each use case. I'm also doing npm run. We won't need npm run watch. I think I'll just run npm prod just in case I've done something silly. We should do localhost 8000. I am just jumping in as that admin. I'll bump that window open so you guys can see. We'll zoom in to about 170. So the idea here is we want the GDPR wizard to appear in the menu. We also got to test these. So I think the customer and the organization, we've got a little bit of setup to do, but it's not hard. Essentially with the customer, we want to find a customer that we're going to delete and essentially put their name in a couple of places. And then for the organization, we're going to do the same. I think that's pretty much it. As for the user themselves, I think we also have got to do a couple of things with this. I think we've hooked them up quite a lot in the system. So yeah, we'll finish off with the we'll start with the user first to sort of finish off what we're doing with them. So we're going to I'm going to open up another tab. We're going to use the random user. Let's go that. Let's go deleted user. It's just the stock standard password, I do believe. Ooh, don't I know their password? Oh, no, I don't want profile. I want users. Did you have free Python hosting? No, I don't. I use Azure. So currently at the moment, NearBeach is running in a Docker Compose type of setup on Azure Web Apps. However, there are some free Python hosting sites out there. Python Anywhere is one that I have clicked on before. Don't know exactly what they do. Just because I don't think I've used them. But always look at the pricing to see what the limitations are and stuff like that. So a limited account with one web app at your username.pyth and anywhere.com, restricted outbound internet access to your, and so forth like that. So, yeah. All right, deleted user. It is that. All right, I didn't go crazy. No, I didn't type it out wrong. Did I type the password in? I typed the password in correctly. Just to be friendly, I am going to change to dark mode for everyone. There we go. I'm going to do that so you guys can see what I'm doing. What we're going to do is we're going to jump in. We are going to add ourselves to a couple of... So my current object here, we've only added ourselves to one object at the moment. Ooh, I don't have access. Part of the dev team, part of the QA team. Why is that's not allowed. Hang on. Part of the deleted user. All right, give me a couple of seconds. This actually might be a permission issue. This is the permission sets. Actually, let's go back here. Power permission set. Actually, I tell you what, I am going to go back to the user. We're going to add them to the dev team in QA. We're going to go the power user set. I've probably set up the permissions wrong here. Not a problem. We can fix this up very, very quickly. I'm just going to give full permissions across the board. That should automatically sort of work. So we want to open up RSC2, RSC3. There we go. So if we go group and user, this user hasn't been added to it. So we're going to add this user to it. So we want the deleted user. That's happens instantly. We're going to go down. We're going to add this user to this here. Done. We're going to add the user to here too. Delete user, add user, easy done. And what's going to happen is this deleted user is going to be removed from all of these, and we're going to test that. And we should be able to update a couple of these. I am going to jump in also as team leader. Sorry, team leader's going to be very, very bright. I do apologize. Oh, no, this is actually a big problem. This shouldn't be happening. 400, bad request, response, project priority. But we should be sending that. Yeah, we are sending that. Okay, let's jump into the backend. Let's actually find this out. So what we want to do is project information, save. We're adding a little breakpoint there. What we're doing is we're just hitting update project. We hit it straight away. We're going to go forward. We're going to look at the value. I'm just going to hover over errors. And it's going to tell us exactly what's going wrong. 5 is not an available choice. All right. So I'm going to say this isn't necessarily a issue with NearBeach. It's an issue with the fixture. So we have a problem where project priority number 5 does not exist in the system, and it doesn't. All right, so we are going to jump over here. We are going to go select let's select count from NearBeach project, where I just do 1 equals 1. That's just to modularize all of this, and priority equals 5. Let's actually have a look. We've got 38. Okay, what if I get rid of this? So all of the project priorities are 5 is... All right, why was that not working? Okay, that was a weird thing because I clicked that button. Okay, not a problem. What I'm going to do is... sorry. We're going to update. We're going to set project priority equals, let's say 3. It's fine. We'll just run this. Run this. Boom, 0. All right, so what I'm going to do, we're going to bump this off to the right. So yeah, in this sort of case, this is because I've made the fixture and I've accidentally put in random data that should not exist in here, being 5 being the wrong result. So if we update the project, we should now see that work. I'm just going to hit play. It's now saved. That's worked perfectly fine. We're all happy with that. So yeah, cool. It was just a problem with the fixture. So that's been added. Let's go down here. We're gonna have to do the same thing with tasks. And I'm just gonna get rid of all of that. We are cool. Yep, done. In here, update this. Yep, that's perfectly fine. We're going to add the user in, just this user. Cool, done. I'm just going to close that. We're going to do the same thing in here. We're just going to go, all right, cool, delete user, save. We're just going to update the task. This is one of the problems with the 5 in it. If we hit refresh, it goes back down to that, and we hit update task, and it's all working perfectly fine. Easy done. All right. So I've just added some connections like that. Now, another thing I've got to look for is if we go in here, we go, I'm just going to get select count from NearBeach, let's say project, where creation user ID equals 6 or modified, this is where I have to look it up. It's created user. Oh, we don't have a modified user there. Okay, not a problem. We got 4. Perfect. Let's do task. 0. All right, what I'm going to do, let's update NearBeach task. Set creation user ID equals 6, where task ID in, and what we're going to do is we'll do 2, 10, 25, 60. Easy done. I'm happy with that. And that should just run. And that way, when we run this again, we get 4. All right. So let's just go through all the objects, because a lot of these will. We're going to ignore bug and bug client, the change task. All right, there's a lot in there. Change task block, 0 in there. So we're just gonna copy this. We're going to do something a little bit different. We are going to go and state that the change task, this is where I have to look this up. Open up this columns. We've got the change task block ID. We've got all of that. Blocked change task ID and change task blocks ID. I'm going to go that in, and we're just going to do something. We're going to do this. Select change task ID from NearBeach change task, where the creation user ID equals 6. All right, it's going to take a little while to run. Oh, it ran. Let's run this one. Did this pop anything out? Did this run? It's still 0. There might not be any blocks and stuff like that. All right, not a problem. What we're going to do is we're going to go and find out where these blocks are. So this will be part of the request for change. If we actually go down, here's a bunch of yeah, all right. So if we go into this and I go, no, not create new link, I'm just going to hit save. In theory, oh, and also if I go in here and create new link, it's currently blocking. I'm just going to delete one of these. Just going to add those in. That, in theory, should. Might have found an issue. All right, I'm just going to create another link. I'm going to see what our code says. So object data, change data, add link. All right. This will be part of the Python thing. So object data, destination, location, add link. So change task, yep. So that should have done that. So object data, this one here, what we want to do is we want to go into the add link, go to implementation. Object dictionary, yep, we're fine with that. Related, yep. Well, that goes all the way through this. The change user, we should be definitely hidden that. Yeah, this is the SQLite one. The request user. Yeah, this is the delete guy. All right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a look in the back office for this. Let's go localhost, let's go into admin, let's find out. So what we want to do is we want to go into here and we want to change task blocks. I'm just going to click on it. Oh, we're not using that table. We do have change user and creation user in here. It's part of the object assignment. Okay, that's not a problem then. Looks like we're just not using that one particular table, which I need to go through and then figure out why we're not using it and potentially remove that data from the table from the system. All right, so going back to this, so we got the change task, we got all of that, all of those connections. That. Ooh. Okay, I'm just gonna hit refresh. Just removing that. We've got a problem. Type error, can't access property backdrop. I think when we hit this, we've got an issue. All right. Ooh, should be this one, and then what actually happens is this title, there's no refer and stuff like that. All right, so it mustn't be this one. That's the sub-object render sprint card. All right, going through this very, very quickly. Dates, no, we don't have dates in here. Okay, I don't know where this is rendered. Not a problem. What we're going to do, we're going to close all of those. We're going to open up source and TLS. Welcome, welcome. How are you going? Hopefully you're going well. What type of dev do you do? All right, we're going into compositions. Now this is part of the change tasks. What I'm going to do, I'm going to move this off to the left. Oh, we don't have access to the VueJS. All right, give me a couple of seconds. What I'm going to do, npm run watch. I think we've found an issue that I do kind of want to fix up very, very quickly. Yes. Oh, that was a big yawn, sucks. That got me. You're going, well, what about me? Yeah, I can't complain. Can't complain. Just busy at the moment. So I'm trying to tidy up essentially a lot of this sort of code so I can start working on 032, which is going to fix up a lot of the database issues and a lot of other stuff too. Big improvement, but I want to get this to a state where it's going to work. All right, Django and Python with React Native or native templates. So I'm using VueJS for the front end. It is essentially a hybrid. So there are some things in here that the Django will render and some things the VueJS will render. However, in 032, we're going to go and only send back a simple template and then get VueJS to handle all the rest. So, yeah. All right, what am I doing? I don't know. There I go, VueJS. So, we want the change task modules down here. So this is part of the change task list. And it's a sub-object list. Okay, cool. Sorry, sub-object links. So we want this one here. You're also planning to get into Vue, but don't have time right now. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I've used React before, mainly on my any WordPress builds. If I have a WordPress build, I've used Angular, but a long time ago. Yeah, I like to try and use something different every single time. Oh, don't worry about distracting me. I get distracted by No Tomorrow. We have a massive distraction right down here. She likes to sit on the, wrong way. She likes to sit on the keyboard and mouse and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, don't worry about distracting me. We'll put the distraction on the screen. All right, so in here, we've got a single row and a trash can. All right, sub-object link, so it does a loop in here. So for link and stuff like that, we should see the object delete down here. All right, confirm, remove link. What I'll do is I'll go to that implementation. Wait, stop. Yeah. That's not something to scratch your claws on. Now you're just being naughty. All right, so this gets sent up to Vuex, the object link. And then we open up the confirm link delete modal. All right, cool. So I'm just going to do that, but I'm going to jump into the Vuex type of thing. We're updating the update object link. Oh, I forgot where that is. All right, we'll do that. There. Oh, I'm hoping that's set right. I'll find out in a second. So the object link. I keep forgetting where that is. Let's just. That's part of that. Change task. Oh. Yeah, this will be part of the change task. So there we go. Nothing there will be changed when I hit that delete thing. Let's go object link Vuex. Ah, there we go, object link. So we've got the object link. It sets everything. This then has a problem. Can't access property backdrop. This Okay, so we set it, return object link, all right. Oops, sorry, I'm meant to be over here. And then we want to open up this. So, where's our... Oh, sorry, bit of a yawn. All right, this will be ID equals, I'm gonna file mask this. There we go, that makes it a lot easier. All right, so we want this one, confirm link delete. So something in here is causing an issue, most likely in here. Oh, whoops, sorry, I did not see the ad break pop up. So yeah, for those on YouTube, you run ads every half an hour on Twitch. That's to stop the pre-rolled ads because they suck. We do this so no one misses out on any content. So yeah, you get to see me in socks and probably solve a Rubik's Cube. I've got several around, but yeah, this will be a short one. Yeah, anyway, welcome back everyone. So, jumping onto this with yeah, I don't know why I didn't test this one before. Because this sets all of this, and then get object link would be the get object link here, and then we've got the object link. All of that is perfectly fine. We're just missing can't access property backdrop. Oh, don't say it's a bootstrap thing. Oh, and a number 98. Welcome. Thank you very much for the follow. I do hope you are enjoying my content as I figure this out. I'm hoping it's not this. So what we're going to do is we're just going to delete it. We're going to make sure that the UX is compiling. There you go, compiled. I'm going to go to the front end. I'm just going to refresh. We're just going to delete this. I know you guys can see the console. All I'm doing is hitting the trash. Can't access property backdrop. This config is undefined, but we've got this in the bootstrap. So unhandled error during execution of a native event handler. Carbon trash click async wrapper. No. All right. All right, so I'm gonna undo what I've just done there. What I'm going to do down here, I'm gonna comment out getting the modal. I'm gonna see if the issues is with this line or with the modal. This is going to be the easiest way to do it. It should take not that long to sort of compile. We'll go back into here and we'll just hit refresh. I'm just going to delete all of that, and we are just going to hit the delete button. I'm also going to check the music volume. How's the music going? Can you guys actually hear the music? So I'm just going to do another refresh, delete this. I'm going to hit this delete button. So everything's working perfectly fine. It's just when we do the modal stuff. So what I'm going to do I'm going to set up the value for the modal. Got to wait for this to compile. In the meantime, I'm going to rise the desk. I can hear my rice as it's just cooked. Oops, it's going back down. You don't think so? All right, cool. Not a problem. I am just going to rise it because I realized when someone followed that it was super loud. If there's a problem with the music, just say so. It's just me clicking on a button. So yeah, it's not going to be a problem. Alright, going back into this. I might turn it all the way up then. There we go. So I've hooked this in. Now we're just going to reload. We are going to delete all of that and I'm going to click on the thing. Yeah, all right. So it's when we're finding it. That's your account? Fair enough. What account is it? Sorry, I'm on a different page. So, all right, so this is causing issues. Okay, type error, can't find it. We're just gonna copy that. We're just gonna go bootstrap. I think it might be because we've recently updated. You need to generate the unique modal's ID dynamically for every time when the modal is created. Set one update, database target. Update it in ID attribute. Oh, don't we have it uniquely on the... All right, let's Oh, on Twitch. Okay, well, welcome. So yeah, I stream on both at the same time. So yeah. All right. How am I going to do this? Inspections. Let's actually. I should be able to copy this and then be able to do something like. Oh, piss. All right. I need to learn the Vim command for copy to clipboard. Oh. Doesn't say it's there. Is it not there and that's what the problem is? Ah, is that the problem? Alright, confirm, link, delete. So it's on the requirement item links module, object models, and requirement links module. It's not on here. Alright, if I were to put this on here, it would have to belong at probably the template level. What needs to be pushed into it, prop wise? So let's have a quick look at the props. Nothing. All right, cool. So I can actually quickly fix this problem up. We're gonna have to put in a bug thing. Won't take me too long to actually implement. Let's go NearBeach. Let's go templates. Let's go NearBeach. This will be part of the change tasks, and it'll be part of the change task information. I'm just gonna put the modal right here. It is. I mean, it could be part of the change task models. Yeah, probably. Change task modules. Probably best in here because then it'll be covered by this. Just having a quick look. So we've got all of that. This will be part of the card. This will actually happen outside the card because we don't want it to appear in the card itself. So this will be the confirm link delete. Now there's no props that we need to feed into it because it should get everything from the Vuex. We do need to actually import it into here. So with the components down here, we're just going to go import the confirm link delete. Should be as simple as that. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, we do need to put it down here, like so. All right, it's having problems with finding it. Not a problem. Modules. Let's hover over this. It's part of the modules wizard. And then it's confirm link delete.view. And hey, how are you, Rajaput? Hopefully you're going well. Hopefully I pronounced your name a bit better than the other day. So what have you been up to? All right, this is... that I'm going all the way up here. Okay, not a problem. That should compile pretty quickly. We're just going to hit refresh. We're going to hit the delete button. Hang on a minute. I'm going to go into the console. We're going to delete all of that. We are also going to make sure it has compiled. Took about 5 seconds, so I'm just going to hit reload again. Doesn't hurt for me to do that. You're back after 3 days? Yes. Yeah, I don't stream on the weekend. All right, so it's not complaining anymore. I'm going to undo that one little line. Shouldn't take too long to compile. Talking about the weekend, how was everyone's weekend? Hopefully it was good. So yeah, mind-wise, I finally got some gardening done. Got outside, the weather was nice. Yeah, all right. So this now works. Please confirm link delete. I'm just going to go. Oh. It's fine if they migrate the link. If we delete the link, I forgot which link it was. I'm just going to delete 107. Okay, we've got a couple of issues here. One of them being is we're getting duplicates. And when we delete stuff, it isn't doing it without a page refresh. So I'm just going to put those in. Oops. So change task. Removing links does not update the list. So method 1, log into NearBeach to navigate to the to an open for request change. Why are you complaining? Yeah, an open request for change. Navigate to the change task sections and click on any. What we want to do is in the change task, remove any of the blocked links. Click on a change task with blocks. That has blocks. Any blocks. All right, cool. Expected results. The block link to disappear, actual, and list to refresh. Actual results, nothing. User has to refresh the page. Disappear, I keep forgetting, yeah, it's just one S. All right, let's do a couple of this. So this would be, I'm going to put it as a major priority. We do need to actually fix this. This is part of the change tasks. And we are going to actually set it on the current version at the moment because I could fix it up very quickly. So I'm just going to create that very, very quickly. We are also going to create another issue. So we're going to go new issue. What we're going to do is change tasks, cannot remove blocked links, method on log into NearBeach to navigate to an open request for change, navigate to a change task with blocks on them, and then delete a block link, expected results, modal to appear, asking user if they wanted to delete this link. You have to go? Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Anyway, thank you very much, and I do hope to see you next time. So, yeah. All right, actual results. No modal appears. Okay, cool. So we quickly fixed that. It's just because that particular thing was not appearing on, that modal wasn't being rendered in. This one we're going to say is a critical one. We have fixed it. It is ready for retesting. It's got assigned to me. This is part of the change tasks. It's definitely fixed in this particular version. We're just going to create it right now. Cool, done. What we want to do now is, so we've made a few changes in here. I'm going to hit save. That should definitely change in the database. So if we actually go to the change task, so change task, I'm just going to click on a random one. What you do is you go up here, you change it, done, and we go down. It's not updating. Okay. That's a bug. Change task, change user slash create, change user not updating when another user makes a modification. The idea being is when a user makes a change, we actually want both the change user to update. This is just for logging who's made those changes and so forth like that. We'll be putting it with 0.32, we'll be looking at actually creating an audit trail. So users will be able to be like, all right, cool, this got changed on that date and these were the changes and so forth like that. So Method 1, log into NearBeach to navigate to an open, it should be draft really, draft RFC, I'll write it in the request for change. 3, what do we want to do? Navigate to the change task section, navigate to a change task. What do we want to do when the user clicks on it? Open new change task and hit update. Expected results. The change user is updated to the current user. Actual results change user is not updated. Alright, cool. Yeah, pretty easy. When we move this all to the API and stuff like that, what we'll actually end up doing is adding in unit tests for this. So we'll have a unit test where it'll actually create something or modify something, and it'll actually check those particular values, which will be good. All right, so this is a priority. This is pretty normal. I'm not too worried about this one. This one will be change task. Put it on this version though. Anything we don't get with this version, I'll push out to the next version and so forth like that. We don't have that many bugs at the moment. We've got 6 for this particular version. One of them we've fixed already. So that's done. That's done. I'm just going to make some changes in the back end. I'm just going to go cool like that. That's fine. That's all we really need. With the customers, we're doing the same thing. We're just going to jump in quickly, change a couple of these to deleted user. The reason being is we want to make sure that when we purge the deleted user, these particular users are not deleted, or these particular customers are not deleted. Document permissions, I think we've got a couple in here which we've done as that too. So I'm just going to jump in and quickly do this. Now I don't know why that took forever. Yeah, change user. Yeah, let's just do that. All right. Yeah, this one's taking forever. It must be because it's all connected. Now, all right, documents. We don't. I don't know why this table's in here. Folders. All right. Groups. Easy done. Kanban boards. We're just doing that. Easy done. Kanban cards. Kanban columns. Well, that's nice how I got the thing to add in emojis. Kind of neat. Swim lanes. Yeah, let's just change user. We're not too worried about creation users for those particular ones. Bugzilla, this is not needed. We'll be getting rid of that. Now, these are fine. However, we're actually implementing the ability for users to actually update the status. So you've got like the project status, and you might want to change that into another language or just have different statuses, which is fine. We're being very flexible with this. The idea being is this will then get connected to a higher order status, which pretty much just says your status is either backlog, normal, blocked, or closed. we might add triage in there at one point, but at the moment no one has requested it or anything like that. So we're like, all right, cool. No one probably wants that. So yeah, that's why I'm putting the change user in here. We've got to make sure that these don't get deleted. Alright, we're just, yeah, going through all of them. List of tasks. Alright, we're almost through them. And same with the, like Mr. Ms. and all that kind of stuff. We're going to extend this so people can essentially add those extra titles in. Once again, this could also be because other different languages don't use Mr. Ms. and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, we're just opening it up for that. Objects assignment, I don't need to worry about. We've already added in quite enough. Object notes, we don't need to worry about. They should be deleted. Object templates, I'm going to worry about. Yeah, we've got one in already. Organizations, I do believe we've done organizations in here. We'll just do one deleted user in there. That's perfectly fine. Permission sets, I'm just going to, yeah, just do that. I think this is the easiest, quickest way we can actually do this. So we'll go deleted user. Public links, yes. We don't want to delete these if a user gets deleted. The reason being is they could have set it up and it just needs to be migrated off to the administrator who essentially does these. Request for change group approvals, that's not a worry at the moment. I'm just going to move these over to team leader, yeah. Yeah, why not? Crime and items. All right, scheduled objects. Yeah, this particular user was very prolific in here, so yeah. Sprint audit tables, I don't think we're doing. I'm gonna find out what that was for. A deleted user, yep, that's perfectly fine. Socks don't sit on the keyboard, please. The sprints themselves, we only got one sprint in here, but you know what, deleted user, that's perfectly fine. Tag assignments, we've got plenty of tags in here. We'll just go deleted user. Once again, we're just going to make sure nothing gets deleted with the tags. The tasks. The user groups. It's fine if the user groups delete the stuff. So for example, this QA team is connected to the delete user. That's fine to delete that. We don't want it if they've actually made something. So the change user down here. And Irvin, how are you going? Hopefully you're going well. Welcome back. So yeah, hopefully your weekend was well. Alright, so user jobs. We're not worried about user jobs because if a user makes a job, at the moment they're the only ones doing it. Actually, I'm going to test it just in case. So, Everything's great. Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah, I can't complain at all. I'm pretty sure I'm happy with what I'm doing with this particular fixture, so I'm going to solidify it, and then from there start writing the unit tests, because I want to get this GDPR stuff out the door. So yeah, because once that's out, we've got documentation and the shakeout testing to do. So that will go, and then we've now got 6 bug fixes. So we'll have bug fixes, shakeout, documentation, and more unit tests. So if that means for the next 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks I'm doing that, I think I can meet, hopefully early October. We can start doing the 032 stuff, which will be good. And 7 months of that. Hopefully not, hopefully a lot less, but I know that's impossible. All right, so going with this, what we want to do is, oh, and I just realized ad break on Twitch. I'm terribly sorry for those on Twitch. I didn't realize there was an ad break on. Don't worry, you didn't miss much. It was me just going through and changing the values for change user to deleted user here and there. All right, so what we want to do is we want to solidify the results first, because I'm quite happy with all of this setup like this. This is working. I'm just going to hit stop. With that, we're going to go over here. We are going to remove static. We're going to git status. We're going to git add git commit bug fix. We're going to deploy this first, and then we'll handle the everything. So over here we had this one, which was essentially a change task cannot remove. Yep. All right. Cool. All right. Git status. Sweet. What we want to do is Python 3 manage dump data. And what we want to do, indent is going to be 2, format is going to be JSON, and then we dump it into NearBeach fixtures and then the GDPR wizard. So we'll just do that very, very quickly. We're quite happy with that. Now, if we actually have a look at the data itself, so we go into sites, NearBeach, we go into NearBeach fixtures, we have a look at the GDPR setup. That's about 13 megabytes. So there's a lot of data in there. It's that big too because it's literally plain text. We're not compressing it or anything like that. Git status, we're going to go git add, and git commit. We're going to go update GDPR fixtures ready for unit testing. We are also going to run Python 3 manage test, because that's something I did not run before actually pushing up everything. We'll have a look at those warnings in the future and try and remove them, because yeah, they are annoying, those warnings. Alright, cool. Everything runs. I know Circle CI won't complain, which is great. We can now start doing the GDPR wizard sort of stuff with the deleted user at least. So I want to close all tabs. I want to minimize everything. Let's just focus on the deleted user. We'll come back later and deal with the organization and the customers, because when we delete that stuff, it isn't going to be as bad. We're just making yeah. All right, cool. Now, I'm just wondering, there's a couple of ways we could do this. One way is we can do a snapshot. And what we could do in that snapshot is go, all right, cool, we've got all the objects. Every single object still exists in the database? And we could do that check. I mean, that's okay if we need to check everything. So a good example would be for those particular snapshots, we might want to be like, all right, cool. Has the change user ID been updated? So that might need to be done. The other method is we just do a count. So before we delete everything, we run a quick script and we just count what's in there. We're like, all right, cool, just give me a number. I don't need any data apart from that number. We then do that for all of our tables. Making sure that we sort of exclude results that we know are going to be deleted. For example, the user that's going to be deleted, we want to remove them on the user table. And then what we want to do is essentially after we hit that endpoint and it updates the database, is we go through and be like, all right, cool, with these particular tables, what number do we have now? What's the before and after? We will need to make sure that we will need to do a snapshot one. However, we won't need to apply it to every single table. And the reason being is we just got to make sure that when we delete the user, the current logged in user is going to pretty much become the change user for all of those tasks. They're also going to become the creation user for all those tasks. And what I want to do is double check to make sure that happens. Now, because that process happens in a for loop that goes through every single table, I'm going to say we only need to check one table for that. And then we can make the assumption that that's happened on every single table. If we weren't going to make that assumption, we would now then need to take snapshots for every single variant. And from there, we would also need to be like, all right, cool, we'll have this snapshot for, let's say, projects for the creation users, another snapshot for the change users, and then do a comparison like that and be like, all right, cool, are all of these that one user? Which is time consuming and stuff like that. So yeah, let's not do that. Alright, so I'm definitely going to do the count one, where we'll do the expected number count against all of the tables. And yeah, I think that should be good. Okay. Let's jump into it. We want to go into NearBeach tests. Now, we've got a bunch of tests in here. We've got like the API, the decorators, event hooks, socks. Stop it with your tail. That was done on purpose then. We've got like specific bugs and stuff like that. We're actually going to create one at the top section. We're going to call it tests GDPR wizard. Like so. The tests sort of look like, oh yeah, we've got an init. We've got to add in an init file. That just tells Python, hey, this is a Python folder. Please accept me. We don't need to do that particular one. What we want to do is test new file. So we're going to write test GDPR wizard. Oh, so I kind of want to, with the snapshot testing. .py. I want to separate them. The reason being is I want to set up two separate instances, make sure that the system creates a new database, so we don't have problems where another test sort of affects the database, and yeah, that's why I'm doing this as two. So we want test GDPR wizard count testing, and I'll document why these are called like that and so forth like that. I'm just going to open up one of these just for reference. It's been a while since I've actually written like the unit tests and stuff like that for Django. So from Django.test import test case, and we want the client, easy done. From Django.urls, import the reverse, easy done. We are using the admin of username and password. Test $1, $2, $3, $4, easy done. So I'm also going to do something like this. Def log in user. This will be C object and self object. Where we want an object back, and then response equals C dot post. Reverse login, self dot credentials, follow equals true, self dot assert true, response, I can't spell, dot context, user is active. All right, and then we have class, and this is going to be called GDPR wizard snapshot test case. We'll have the fixtures set to the. I am going to remove that. That will be NearBeach _ GDPR wizard. I think it's called. Let me double check all of that in a second. We're going to do that. All right, cool. Then we've got the def setup. Self, easy done. Self dot I tell you what, I am just going to copy the rest. This is pretty stock standard boilerplate sort of stuff. Paste it in. We'll be getting rid of that. That's perfectly fine. Well, I've got wrapped around the mic then. We'll get rid of that. So this is self dot credentials. Am I logging in? Yeah, we're doing that. All right, cool. I'm just going to paste over that. So we've got self.credentials. And then we push through all of that. We don't need to set up credentials by the look of it. No. All right, cool, easy, done. I'm gonna go back to this one. So we've got this set up. We don't need this here. That's perfectly fine. We do need actually some space. So how are we going to do this? We need to check. Okay. Method. One user, admin user goes to the GDPR wizard and deletes a user. Now we might need to rename this to snapshot user delete or something like that. Or we could potentially reuse this and set everything up. We'll figure it out. So admin user goes to the GDPR wizard. Admin user deletes a user using GDPR wizard. All right, cool. System finds all creation user and what was it? Change user. Fields that has the soon to be deleted user. I can word that better. So system finds. No, I can do that better. System updates all creation user and change user fields that are assigned to the deleted user and updates them to be the current logged users ID. Okay, cool. System removes deletes the user from the user table. All right, method. Tests. We'll grab a snapshot of. All right, cool. As the update occurs in a for loop that extends all tables within the system, we'll only test one table. If it successfully occurs in that one table, it is assumed it will successfully occur in the other tables. And I've done a spelling mistake. All right, cool. So in here, we'll focus on the project table, find a list of projects that have been, okay, find two lists, projects created by the change user, created by the deleted user, and projects updated by the deleted user. Alright, we'll focus it onto list. We'll run the GDPR wizard against the deleted user, and then check all projects in both lists. One, still, no, it's fine. Alright, it's fine. He's going away, see? No. It's fine. He just wanted to say hello. Okay? In your bed. No, I'm working. In your bed. Alright, check all projects in both lists still exist and to have been and the fields have been updated. Don't you dare jump off that and start trying to beat them up. And the fields have been updated to the admin user. Easy done. Alright, cool. So there's a good sort of description what this test is doing. What I'll also do is, as I was writing this out, I'll be like, alright, cool, this won't be used for the organization and the customer one. We'll have different tests for that. Hence, I'll rename this to GDPR Wizard User Snapshot Testing. Done. And we'll do the same with the other one. So essentially there'll be, I think, probably 3 files in here. Because with the organization, we'll be deleting the organization. So when you delete the organization, we want it to actually follow through with everything that is connected with those organizations. Because yeah, I think it just outright deletes the organization. I'll have to double check with the code. So usually we soft delete. So we've got on pretty much every single table, we've got a is deleted field, with the idea being is if something gets changed, it will change it to is deleted. On certain tables, we could get rid of it. Maybe, so for example, the object assignment table, it's not, sometimes having it as soft deleted is not really required. Yeah. Alright, jumping back into this. So we got this set up. It'll probably be just one test in here. So we'll do test GDPR wizard user snapshot test. And yeah, it'll just be like that. We'll go C equals client. We're all happy with that. We'll user will be logged in. Easy done. So login user do. We're going to use C self. All right. So now we're going to fetch the data. Snapshot data. So we've got project change creation user equals project or objects dot get, where the creation user equals 6, and then we've got the project change user equals once again project dot objects dot get, and then change user equals 6. Now we haven't imported this whatsoever, so from NearBeach.modules import we just need project. That's perfectly fine. So we've got those snapshots in there. Then run the GDPR wizard. Now, we did take a snapshot just before, didn't we? Yes, yes we did. So we've got something. I should also get status. No, that's fine. We don't need to commit a fixture. Oh, no, that's not a fixture that we're committing. All right, cool. Run the GDPR wizard. So I'm just going to go into the front end. We're just going to hit refresh. Oh, that's actually production. We don't want to do that. Oh, I'm not running it. What I'm doing here is I'm trying to remind myself what values I'm actually sending to the back end. So we've got the user 6. All right, cool. GDPR wizard. When's my next ad break? In about 3 minutes. I'm then going to run off and give Patty a little cuddle because Socks has yelled at him and he's probably upset about that. What I'm doing right now is I'm filling this out and then recording what we're sending. So, data to be removed. We should be removing those. It's probably because we've got the read only down here. Yep, that's perfectly fine. No, you don't. I know what you're going to do. So we're going to type out deleting user. Easy done. Due to the cascade effect with the NearBeach's database, many objects will be deleted. We just remove the users. To stop this from happening, we'll be using your ID to fill out the creation user and the modified users fields. All right, cool. All right, so what I'm going to do is I am going to put on persistent logs. I know what you're doing, Socks. You're going in the bedroom in a minute. Sorry, she just, every single time that sort of happens, she just goes and launches herself off and then I'm just hearing cats fighting. I'm just going to hit deleted user. So the persistent data that I sent off, so we'll bang that off to the left, is GDPR object type is the user and the object ID is 6. So that's what we need to send to the back end. I don't think that I heard the cat meow then. Alright, so that's what I want to send. Now we do. Oh, it's part of the music. It's not cat meowing, it's something happening in the music. Alright, silly me. And hello. Kahuna. Welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content. So yeah, welcome. All right, I want to see. I know I've got a reverse where I can send data. I'm just trying to remember where that is. It's part of the user test functionality, test user admin. There's a bunch of, no, that's not that one. Sorry, that's specific user functionality. It's under this one. It would be with, let's go with the team leader. There's a post one in here. So essentially we do something like this. We're not actually going to use this setup. What we're going to do is we're going to scroll down to where we do the post and it's something like that. All right, cool. I'm just going to put that off to the right. I know that an ad break will happen any second now for Twitch. I'm going to put Socks in the bedroom just because I know she's going to start a fight. All right, so waiting for that ad to actually occur, but we'll start. So we've got a response equals, in this sort of case, we'll have self.client.post. We're happy with that. We'll need the reverse for the GDPR wizard, which I'll key it in like that right now. We'll have no arguments, and ad break is in progress. All right, give me a little while. Sorry, I will be right back. I'm just gonna put socks in the bedroom, and I'll getting myself a little bit of water. Anyway, I am back. Hopefully everyone's going well. This is Patty. This is the cat Socks does not like. Oh, buddy. He just wants love. Do you want to have a look up here? He's like, nah. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. There you go. You're like, no, no. No, I'm going to escape. All right, there you go, buddy. Belly rubs? Yeah. Belly rubs. There, good buddy. Anyway, welcome back, everyone. Let's jump back into it. So, going back into here, we've got we don't have any arguments. I'm just going to specifically say we don't have any arguments. With the data, we're going to have some data. And then follow equals true. I think so. Am I doing that wrong? Yes. And it's a capital T for true. I am going to remove that from the end. I'm going to split these over multiple different lines. The reason being is it just makes it easier to read for everyone. So we'll have it like that, and yeah. So we should have a self dot. Now, it does get redirected if memory serves me correctly. So we send it to the GDPR wizard. Actually, no, we get it back as a 200 response. Yeah. Yeah, we just get it back as a 200 response. There's no redirect. So self dot assert true response dot status code equals 200. Oops, I put 300. All right, so we'll assume that is going to happen. Let's fill out all of this other bits of data. So I'm just going to scroll up. So we'll have the reverse URL, which will be the GDPR wizard submit, which I've got to double check exists. All right, no problem. It's just GDPR submit. Easy done. So we'll just updated that. That should be fine. The arguments themselves, there are no arguments in there, so that's going to be empty like that. That's just an empty great. With the data itself, we're going to have a look at the request. So we've got GDPR object ID. So we just do something like this. We've got GDPR, oops, object ID. We want that as number 6 because that's the deleted user ID. What we want is GDPR object type is going to be called user, and I think that's all lowercase. Yep, and we're happy with that. So after that's done, we're going to assert response is true, which we expect it was. Check to make sure all the data has been updated correctly. All right, cool. So what we want to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to minimize that. What we want to do is figure out how I want to name this. So after update, creation user equals project.objects.filter. And what we're actually going to filter for is we're going to say creation user equals the 1 for the admin user. And the other thing we want to do is project ID in, and then we want to go project creation user dot values project ID. We're going to do the filter, don't we? Yeah, filter dot values. Do we? It's meant to be filter up here. Whoops. All right, instead of get, it's meant to be filter. So the idea being is everything in here should be the same. And then we're going to do the exact same thing with after update, and this will be the change user equals project.objects.filter. Straight away, we're going to go, that is going to be, yep, change user equals 1, and then project ID, yada, yada, yada. That's perfectly fine. Assert that both sets contain the same elements. And a good way to do that is, because we're using the IDs and stuff like that, if one's missing, the length and all that kind of stuff will be different. So we don't need to loop through them and double check, hey, is this in there, and so forth like that. So we're just going to go, all right, cool, get in the count for both. Let's just assert them as being the same. So this will be self.assert equal. And what we're going to do is we're going to go after update, creation user first, dot count is also going to be the project creation user count. And then self.assert equal, this will be after update, change user count equals project change user count. Yep, so they should be the same. And that's it. That's it with the test. So it's a pretty easy and quick test. We're just done here. So what I'm going to do, let's test the test. Let's go Python 3 manage test. Now, since it's found 88, I don't know if it's going to find this one particular test. So let's run it first. Now, there could be a number of reasons why it doesn't find it, and it's going to be, how are you going? Hopefully you're going well. So one of the reasons why it might not find it is I haven't named the files correctly, and it just doesn't find it. Another reason is I forgot to put the init file within the folder, and so forth like that. So, you know, at the moment, all the tests sort of run. We're going to double check the folder sort of structure. So this will be the GDPR wizard. We do have that in there. We have the test and everything like that working perfectly fine. We might get rid of testing at the end. Like so, easy done. The other thing which we could potentially do is put it in a print statement in here. So just a simple sort of, or an assert fail. Not assert true, that will be assert equal. So I've put in clearly something that will fail. We should now have something failing in here. We're just going to wait for it to run the whole entire thing. There we go. We've got the fail. Sweet. So I know this is running these test cases, and it looks like, yeah, it did actually work. So those particular records did get upgraded. Or updated, I should say. Alright. 3 doesn't equal 2. Yep, I'm happy with that. That's a quick and easy sort of test. Because this passed flying colors, and I'm like, alright, I better make sure we're picking it up. I'm happy with this. This is perfectly fine. This test here. So, what we want to do now is we want to do it with every single table. And we're going to do it in a smart way. So I'm just going to go up to the top. I'm going to yank all of the lines from here. We'll paste that in. What I'll do is I'll rename this. So GDPR wizard user count. Easy done. GDPR user count test. Oops, I didn't put user in there. Easy done. So, how am I going to do that? Very good question. And we're going to have a method for this. So we're going to go up here. We're going to... So that method stays the same because that's what the user's doing. The tests themselves is going to be different. All right, cool. We'll have a read of this text. We don't need that anymore. So as the user update occurs in a for loop and extends to all of that, we'll only. All right, cool. What we're going to be doing is we'll loop through every single table. And grab a count of rows from those tables and compare it afterwards. All right, easy done. The baseline count will make sure we'll exclude any any user fields that contains the deleted user, as the cascade effect will remove these values. The creation user and change user fields should update automatically to the admin user. This is tested thoroughly in another test case. All right, cool. Easy done. The baseline and the account will make sure. All right, cool. Yep. All right. Yeah, let's get this done. So we can loop through each table to create the accounts. Easy done. And we'll do the same with GDPR Wizard. So if we go to GDPR Wizard submit, I'm just going to click on this, and then we are actually going to go to this implementation. We don't need the URLs open anymore. So in here, the form submit, otherwise it returns, it'll clean the data. If it is the user, it will go into here. So it'll do this, so object assignment. All right, so it'll delete all the object assignment stuff first. I'm gonna have this open because it'll help me sort of be like, all right, cool, these are the tables where we're removing this. So yeah. Otherwise, we've got this line here, which will help us. So we're gonna actually have another def called set baseline. We are also going to have a dictionary. I'm just thinking how I can do this. So NearBeach tables, you can get models. All right, I'm going to run that line and see how it's constructed in here. So we're just going to open up another tab. We're going to go source vn bin activate, easy done. We're going to go Python 3 and manage shell. We're going to import, we've got to go from nearbeach.models. We're going to import everything, easy done. We're going to paste that one line in. Apps.get apps. All right, config.get models. What is that app for? Where do we get that from? We get that from Django apps registry. So from Django.apps import, we're just going to import everything. We're going to paste it in like that then, and we're going to go in NearBeach tables. We've got all of that. So we're going to go for item in NearBeach tables, and we're just going to print item. So we've got a bunch of classes. All right, so if I go a equals NearBeach tables, and I'm going to grab the first one. Ooh. I haven't typed out. All right, for item in NearBeach tables, A equals item. A equals none. All right, cool. For item in NearBeach tables, A equals item. A. So I can loop through them, and I can. All right, I'm gonna have to read some of the code, see what I've done in here. So, Okay. Let's have a look. So generated object in Aptitude at okay. Give me a couple of seconds. I'm trying to remember Python show all keys in class. This duplicate. All right, cool. Attributes. Vars. All right. So what I want to do is it's something very, very simple. For item in NearBeach tables, we want to print the, what is their command that they've got? Vars item. And then we want to break. Print item, break, what? For item in NearBeach tables, print item. Now it's not printing anything. Alright. No, that's I've done something wrong. I'm going to copy this again. It's going to paste it in like that. Cool. NearBeach tables.length. It should be length. Sorry. NearBeach tables. All right. Then cool. Vars. Vars argument has to have a dict attribute. All right, cool. For item in NearBeach tables, print item. Cool. Print vars item. Print item. What distro? Just plain old vanilla Ubuntu. So, yeah. Nothing special. Are we destroying the config after it goes through its loop? That doesn't make much sense, though. Alright, let's just paste that in. And then for item in NearBeach tables. And then what we want to do, print vars item. And there it goes. So, that's what I want. We must be deleting it. So if I go for item in NearBeach tables again, and then do print item. Yeah, it comes out with nothing. We must be destroying it. Good to know. Because now I can go through and follow this up. So we've got module, we've got NearBeach module, we've got the settings, we've got the user settings. We don't want any of that. So I'm just going to copy this. We're going to prettify this. And we're just going to delete that. I don't know if this is proper. Nah, it's not going to prettify this because it isn't proper JSON. It's Python stuff. All right, not a problem. So we've got module, we've got settings type, we've got the doc, we've got the user settings. Yeah, we don't need that. We've got the meta, we've got does not exist. We've got multiple objects return, user settings. We've got the user settings ID, user ID. We don't want most of this. We've got the username. I want the table name. This is actually giving out all of the other stuff. So this is NearBeach.models. Is there another one up here which we can... All right, so module NearBeach models. That's a field. Doc, it's the tag. Meta, options for tag, does not exist. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Multiple objects, return, tag ID, and then those are all the fields. We don't exactly have what object it is. Alright, so I've got to figure that out somehow. So we've got the object. So Django RM, find out the object name. So current C models model. All right, current field yet to low. No, not what I want. W3 schools. I'm out. Model metal. All right, cool. App. DB table. Do we have DB table in there? I don't think we did. I didn't see it. Nor did I see anything around table in here. So what I want to do, Django RM, sorry, Python show list of keys in class. Instance my class keys list. So my instant dict keys. All right, maybe I'm not sure that will work, but we'll give it a try. So for item in this will be, we're just going to go back into here. We're just going to copy this. We're going to get it like that. We then want to print. And this is where we go over here. We want to print a list of no, I don't think that will work. Retrieve the name of the attributes which are considered keys in a broader sense using dir. Dir item. Does not exist. There we go. That's what I want. Setting type class. Dict directory. Ooh. Get attribute. Get state hash. Init subclass module. New reduce. We've got set attribute. Set. So a lot of these are private. Private functions, which is not what we want. What we want is validate. Not quite. Fresh from A, check clean fields. Delete from database, full clean, get constraints, get referred data, get setting to objects, PK, prepare database, refresh, save database, serialize, setting data, setting type, unique. All right, username. Validate unique, not quite. Oh. I'm just wondering if it's the check model. What we could do this again, hit that, go print item underscore. Is probably bad to do this. Not check fields. What was it? I just had it. All right. Sorry, give me a couple of seconds. I swear you, I had it in a couple of check managers, check indexes, check model name, database lookup class. I don't think this one will work, but it doesn't hurt trying it out. All right. So I'm going to go print item.model. Yeah, it has no thing called that, so we want to go print item dot. What am I doing? So I'm writing unit tests for NearBeach, an open source project management system. The idea being is with one of the unit tests, instead of actually having to create all the queries for every single table and stuff like that, I'm doing it in a for loop and I'm shoving that data into a dictionary. I've got to figure out a way of when I shove it into the dictionary, I label the model, the model's correct name, so I can look it up on the other side. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I know that I can get a list of every single table in NearBeach using a particular command, essentially this command here. I'm seeing if I loop through it, can I actually get the exact model name from that? So yeah, that's what I'm doing. And yeah, I just got to figure it out. So yeah, username ID, valid account. Not quite. We've got the clean fields, clean check. Yeah. From database, let's have a look. All right. If I do this and I just go item in there, yeah, we just got all of that. Yeah. So Django rm get model name. Get the class name, books models, All right. Don't say that works. If that works, item dot under name under. Oh my god, that works. All right, cool. We've figured it out. I'm going to put that over there for reference. So in here, what we want to do is we want to set up the dictionary first. So we've got the def setup lookup setup baseline count. All right, so we're happy with that. What we'll have is NearBeach tables equals all of that. And then we'll need to import this. I'm just going to cheat. I'm just going to hover over this and import that. That is, oh, all right. We need to do it like that. So from here, for single table in NearBeach tables, we'll have a condition 1 and 2, much like this up here. Oh, no, it'll be, we're just ignoring user assignments, and that's all. So I'm just having a quick think. Oh, oops, shoot. We'll have up here, we'll have the data dictionary. That's just going to be like that. Not a problem. Actually, no, give me a second. Python dictionaries. Oh, not W3 schools. Double checking fruit, count apple. No, I don't want that. No. Yeah, I know I've done something wrong. Sorry, it could be 2 seconds. A equals that, and then if we go A, hello equals world, and if we go A, hello, we'll get that out. All right, sweet. And if we go A, Bob, there'll be nothing in there, and if we do that, we got that. All right, cool, sweet. That's what we want. So for single tables in all of that, what we want to do is condition 1 equals hash attribute single table. It's going to be just user. I am double checking the backend very, very quickly. So we'll duplicate this tab, we'll go into the admin, we'll go object assignment. So there'll be a bunch of tables where we've got a field. So this one takes a while to actually get the data. We'll have a field called assigned user. Or condition 2 has attribute not created user. We're just going to go user. I do believe there is a couple of tables where that is like that. So user groups, username. But when we do something like this, as we create user and all that kind of stuff, I'm trying to remember change tasks. Change tasks will be, ooh. I see a bug already. So with the change task assigned user and change task QA user, when those tables actually happen and we've got a deleted user, we don't want those users to be deleted. And I'm just wondering if we are deleting those. So one way to find out is if we go back into change tasks, let's just open up 2 of those ones. We just scroll down, we just go, we deleted this one already. All right, not a problem. Just having a look at So change task assigned user and change task QA user. We're going to override. So condition 3 equals has attribute change task assigned user, and condition 4 change task QA user. If condition 1 single table dot objects dot filter, that will be the, sorry, I should bring this over so you guys can actually see. So this is a bug before we actually found it. All right, cool, that's awesome news. This is why we write unit tests, to find all of these particular conditions. So we've got this in, and we're going to go change change task assigned user equals GDPR object ID, and we just go to update that to request.user. So that should work in there, and then condition 4, that will actually be QA user. So yeah. Now I'm trying to think if I've actually, with our fixture, if I've actually added in that particular user. I probably haven't. Okay, it's not a problem. Because I can load up the GDPR stuff and just quickly add in a couple of users very, very quickly. In fact, let's do that now. Because we did do the delete just a minute ago, just to find out a few things. So over here, I'm just going to go over here. I'm going to remove the database. Easy done. I'm going to go Python 3, manage, migrate to recreate our local database. That won't take too long. It's just adding in all those things. Python 3, manage, load data. We want to do the GDPR wizard stuff. That takes a little while because there's a little bit of data to actually do. So that's all installed. I'm going to reload this. I'm going to select count from change tasks, where on one end, let's go where, what was it? Change task assigned user ID equals number 6. So it's a 0. So we're going to add a couple in. Now I'm going to do a refresh. Oh, I've got to restart the database. Sorry, restart the server. We're just going to jump in and we're going to go deleted user for this particular one. I'm going to go save. All right. I'm just going to open up a couple. I'm going to go delete user, delete user. So we've got the QA, delete user, delete user. All right, cool. So now that we've done that, what we're going to do is we're going to update this to also have those particular conditions. So in those specific cases, we make sure that those particular users have not been deleted. So we've got the, I don't know if we're going to check for those though. All right. So first step is we get the results. Results equals single table dot objects dot filter, and then that's it. We're getting everything. Essentially, we're getting everything, and then we'll apply the filters down here. So if condition 1, what we want to do, results equals results dot filter, where the assigned user, actually we want to exclude where assigned user equals 6. I'm going to go assigned user dot ID. That way we don't need to actually get the object ID for this. It's just as simple as that. And then we're just doing that with all the conditions. So if condition, oh my god, piss off. Sorry, I hit N so many times then. So results equals results dot exclude, and then creation user ID equals that. So that's actually the username, not that. So username ID. That might not work. We might need to under. So what I mean is do something like that. And then instead of ID, it'll be PK. Now, we still want these. These won't get deleted. It's just cases like this where we're deleting them. So we're going over here. We're also going back to the admin thing, which I have stupidly closed. I know there's other sort of ones in here. There's like my jobs and stuff like that. But what will happen is we'll go through every single thing. So what I want to do is I want to go Django unit testing. I want to do an assert test. Because the one problem is because we're doing it in a loop, this sort of makes it hard to find out where it is occurring. So we're going to jump in and sort of print where it is. All right. So results equals result, and then what we want to do is self.data dict. We're not going to have single table. What we're going to have is single table dot under name, and we're going to do results count. And that's pretty much it. I don't think we want to store more information in there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. That's all we need to actually do. So in here, what we've got is we've got login, set up the baseline. So it'll be self dot set up baseline count, easy done. What we're going to do is we're actually going to grab the exact code that we used over here, because we don't need to do anything different. It's easy, just copy, paste it in, run the GDPR wizard, and do our assert checks. So we can do our assert checks here. That's not going to be a problem. We could potentially put them in a function like we did with here. That's also not going to be a problem. I feel like potentially, because this looks a bit messy, to do that. However, I also want to double check with our other stuff. So I want to go into read only. We scroll all the way down. So we loop through this. We do self subtest. We got our data. All right, cool. So that's how I think it's done. All right, so set up baseline, and then we want to run tests. This will be, I'm just having a look at what we're done after update. After update, checking. All right, easy done. So, these two lines will be exactly the same. In fact, the conditions and all that will be the same. So we've got all the conditions like that. The results will equal the single table dot objects at all because we're grabbing everything. Oh, in fact, I don't think we need a check for these conditions. So yeah, we've got all the data, and then what we want to do is with self.subtest, we are going to have GDPR wizard user count, and then we're going to have the table. So single table dot under name under like that. And then we do the self.assert equal this is where I'm going to split it out onto multiple different lines. So we've got the length of the results, which we're happy with. Then we are expecting it to be the same as that. Check the results. So not set up after update checking. All right, cool. I'm not 100% sure this will work, but let's just give it a shot. All right, cool. So Python, we need to actually dump the data. So Python 3 manage dump data. Format is going to be JSON, indent is going to be 2, and we want to dump that into NearBeach fixtures and the GDPR sort of wizard stuff. And now we do our Python 3 manage test. Oh. Alright, not a problem. We've got 3 fails. Alright, so the 3 fails are test GDPR wizard user count test. Yep, that's fine. NearBeach, that just shows us the place. So GDPR wizard user count object assignment. So the object assignment table has probably lost a bit of data. We're going to figure out what it has lost and why. So we've got a drop off. We don't have a massive drop. All right. You would like to contribute to NearBeach? Well, it is open source. We have a GitHub and we have a Discord. So yeah, we've got Hacktoberfest just around the corner. So we're hoping to start 0.32 in Hacktoberfest. We will need a lot of people's opinions on the UI and UX of NearBeach, which needs a big improvement. And 0.32 will be focusing on that. All right, so we've got a couple of things. So, change task. Let's have a look at that table first. So we've got the change task. I'm just going to just select everything that's like that. We're going to do something like that. And we're just going to select all. All right. So we've got the change task, we've got the change task title, we've got the start end date, we've got the change task seconds, we've got the change task required by, we've got the change task is downtime, date created at, is deleted, change task assigned user, and change task QA user. I might have gotten those fields wrong. So an easy way to get this sort of fixed and double check everything is we're moving on to the models. We will search for change task in here. We'll actually go down to this particular thing. We're going to copy that. And we're going to make sure we update the conditions themselves. So both on the GPR wizard, like that, and the test itself. So set up condition 1. Oh, we don't need to do it there because we're assuming everything gets clocked. All right, cool. We'll keep it there. We've got the models. Change QA user. So going into here, change QA user. I think that was the problem. So we just got those two fields wrong. I think this one's fixed. So we're going to go back over to the tests. We're going to fix up, the next one is object assignment. So we're just going to go object assignment in here. Easy done. We're just going to select, we're going to get all of them. That's perfectly fine. We're having a look. Object ID, meta object. Object title, object status is deleted, assigned user ID. Assigned user ID, we're happy with that data being deleted. So if it's been assigned to, let's say, the deleted user number 6, that's just going to delete that record from here. We're fine with that. That's perfectly fine. What we need, and the group ID, that will be fine. Kanban card, organization ID. That might be, I need to, no, it should be picked up with that, the assigned user. Yeah, all right, so going into here, still more in our initial one. So the assigned user ID, yeah, that should be fine. And then if we scroll all the way across, link the relation, change user ID should be, oh, let's change task. Whoops, sorry. Organization ID. Now, the good thing about this piece of software is we can actually look up some joins and so forth like that. So in here, what we can do is we can go to object assignment. So there it is. Open it up. We've got the columns. So we've got the object ID, we've got a bunch of this, we've got a bunch of foreign keys. So we've got the assigned user ID and the change user ID. Now with the change user ID, that should be updating it from, oh, and we've just hit our ad break on Twitch. Give me a couple of seconds. For those on YouTube, we run ads every half an hour on Twitch. The reason being is because they get pre-rolled ads otherwise and they suck. We do this and yeah, just so no one misses out. So yeah, don't worry, you get to see me a little bit more. I did have Socks in here before, but she got really angry at Patty and was about to launch herself off the desk and try and chase him down, and I'm like, nope. Don't want that happening again on stream. So, yep. Hopefully everyone's going well tonight. I feel like we're getting somewhere with the GDPR. It's a slow process. I want to be very ultra careful with it. I want to be able to set everything up and make sure that no, this isn't going to delete legit data. So yeah, we'll be working on the unit tests for hopefully a few more streams. Hopefully not that many. Depends how I go tomorrow night too. I might knock out a few more tests. So yeah. Alright. That one would belong over there. So white's got to be on that side. And we're almost finished the ads. Alright, welcome back everyone. I hope everyone's going well. So we're going over here. We can't see any other connections. My main problem is, what if it's deleting the change user ID? And yeah, have fun. Anyway, thank you very much for popping by. So with the GDPR wizard, we've got the change user. Oh, what if we have a problem? In which case we need special cases. Alright, so object assignment, objects.filter, where is, actually, no, we're not worried about is deleted stuff because that status will still stay. We want the change user ID. Alright, no, it doesn't exist like that. That's perfectly fine. What we could potentially do is do something like that has attribute. So we're going to do that right now. We're just going to jump over here. That's the wrong file that we're under, and I just realized I just removed all the test results, and I'm like, Alright, what we have is has attribute object assignment change user ID, change user, true. And the next thing is it for the creation user. Has attribute object assignment creation user, false. So going back into here, that's if both exist. It doesn't, so it jumps onto this one where the user ID equals that, and then it updates that. So that should work, and then the same with that one. But yeah, that'll be false on that sort of case. And then those are exceptionals. That's just for the change tasks. All right. In fact, we could get rid of that. Doesn't need to be in the loop. handle change tasks special fields. So that will be change task dot objects dot filter. That will be the change task assigned user equals all right, cool. And then that will, yeah, that's just going to be that. Like that. All right. We'll import that in a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Uh, 208. All right, so we've just added that in. The reason why I've gotten it out of there is it doesn't need to belong in the for loop. This is a special case. We will handle it out here. That's not going to be a problem. All right, so we can then get rid of those two lines. We're all happy. So yeah, I don't know why this table's been deleted. So we've got the change task ID, we've got parent ID not connected to users whatsoever. Is there a follow through from another table that then deletes data from here? And that is possible. So we're going to go back into here because I deleted everything. Python 3 manage test. It won't take too long to do. It takes about a minute. And we're going to have a look at the other table that is having the problem. So we should be down just to 2 Fs. And what we're going to do is we're going to make sure, oh, still 3 Fs. We're going to make sure we don't have a secondary cascade. All right, request for change. That looks like we have a problem. So we've got 78, however, we've originally got 100. Yeah, let's go into request for change. We might actually be having a field in there which we need to actually make sure is updated too. So I'm just gonna close that. We have a RFC, no, NearBeach underscore request for change. There we go. We're just gonna run it. We've got the data down here. So we've got the ID, title, summary, type, start, end, release, version number, priority, risk, impact, analysis, plan, backout, test plan, date created, is deleted, change user ID, which should be fine, creation user ID, which should be fine, RFC lead ID, that's the one which has a problem. So that's going to be in a special case down here. So down here, handle request for change. So we are going to say request for change dot objects dot filter for anything that has it was RFC lead ID equals that. And what we want to do is we want to update RFC lead ID equals the request.user. So I'm just going to go up to the top. We've got request for change. So that should handle that. So I think that then will handle that. With the change tasks, we're still different. And I don't know why. I'm just going to run the tests again. I want to see the request for change at least. So we're at 78. We're in a reality we shouldn't be having that drop off at all. We'll find out. Don't have any deaths. All right. And then one big giant F at the end. We're getting there. All right, it's still running. Done. All right, so we found some bugs in our process, and yeah, we fixed it. Can you explain most organizations prefer Python-based frameworks like Django, Flask, etc. for their sites rather than Next.js React app? Also, we have Act web backends written in Rust. I don't. I've never worked for a place which actually had Python as a backend for their web framework, like Django or Flask. I do know some places that do use it because they do quite a bit of data crunching with it. However, that being said, I've worked in places which used WordPress. So I worked, my last job was in a digital agency which used WordPress a lot. Currently I'm using a lot of .NET. It honestly depends on the place themselves. So there's a number of factors. For example, the pool of talent in the nearby area. If legacy stuff too, so for example, they might still be using quite a lot of legacy stuff or supporting legacy stuff. So yeah, I usually do this to show people. So if I go front-end developer and I type in, I'm going to do Sydney today in New South Wales, and I just search for the jobs in here. We can see for a junior stack, full stack developer, you'll have 2 years Node.js, Python. All right, cool. There we go. SQL, no SQL. Yep, that's Docker and all that kind of stuff. All right, cool. That one. Per day, 700 per day. Jeez. Oh God, fix your stuff. Seek. Oh wow. All right. Wow. This one, qualifications, 7 years. React, there goes, someone's using React there. I do see quite a lot of React and WordPress when I do these searches. Node.js is the backend framework, a plus. Writing testable code using Jest. All right, cool. Tailwind, and stuff like that. Oops, didn't mean to click into it. So yeah. Yeah, sorry to not fully answer your question, but yeah, it could be a number of reasons why people, I'm assuming you've been looking at jobs and stuff like that recently, why jobs in your area are using certain frameworks over others. So yeah, I sadly don't have an answer. Next, React here, .NET, but this is Sydney. If I look somewhere else, if I look in Melbourne, I'll probably get a different sort of answers. To do junior dev, JavaScript, Node.js. All right, that one's WordPress, so PHP and React. This one is React, Vue, Angular. All right, cool. They've been rather generous. What's that? No responsibilities. JavaScript, Node.js. React, TypeScript. I was honestly expecting more WordPress from Melbourne. All right, this is different. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to jump back into it. We have just run our tests. I'm happy with our tests. So our, like usual, our unit tests actually found issues when we were building them. And we've essentially fixed them at the same time. So yeah. You're looking for I'm assuming job, or you're looking for a. So we did assign the user to a couple of jobs and stuff like that. All right, I'm getting pretty happy that we've filled out enough of the GDPR fixture for the user tests. And I'm happy with the user tests because there's not much we need to actually test for it. We've just got to be like, all right, cool. Is the data we're deleting expected or not? I'm looking for a junior dev role. Oh, fair enough. Yep. Sorry, I'm just trapped between two thoughts at the moment. I've just got to double check what we're doing. So when we delete the user data, we're just replacing all of that and then we delete it. All right, cool. And that's it. We're not actually searching any of the data. I'm going to state that I'm happy with this. So git status, git add, all of that, git commit. So update GDPR unit tests with fixes for user deletion. How is the job hunt going, if you don't mind me asking? I know it's very hard at the moment, and very difficult. And I'm assuming you learned Next.js and React. All right. So I'm happy with that one. With the GDPR wizard again. What we could also do, I'm going to bump that off to the right, we can also delete customer and organization data. So we've got to write the same sort of tests for these particular cases. Shouldn't be too hard to do, but we'll read the code first. So get customer data, look for all customers associated with the customer organization within the search for, all right, so look at all objects that the customer has been assigned to. This just goes through, that searches for all of that and just updates it. Oh, that's the get. All right, no, that's the get. We want the delete customer data. So the internal function with the delete customer data, that sends you through all of that. So that gets all of the projects and stuff like that. So the customer data, the customer object, GDPR object. We get the first name and last name and stuff like that. And then we sort of change it throughout the whole entire place where the customer has been assigned it. So single project and project. What is project? Project from cleaned data project. Oh yeah, we're unticking and ticking certain things. resub. All right, so we've got to do a test for all of that, where we've got the username in the name and the description. So what we've got to do is go in, check to make sure that's no longer the case. We'll do a pre-check and an after-check. So we need to do that on both the project name, description, the requirement title, requirement scope, and a bunch of other fields too. Shouldn't be too hard to implement. Then object assignment, filter delete, that just gets that deleted. So we just need to do, once again, account from before and after. Not hard to do. So we're going to split this off into 2 tests once again. One which will deal with the snapshots. So we'll grab bits of data before, check it, and then run it, and then check it again. Easy done. And one which will go through every single table and make sure the counts are working. So, customer object, delete. All right, sweet. So I'm all happy with that. Yeah, we just got to make a couple of tests now. So I'm just going to stop this. What is the time? Also 9:30. We'll try and fill out as much of the data as possible. And we're going to do the easy one last, which is going to be good. All right, so with the tests, let's go over here. I'm going to remove the database because we want to reconstruct it. I'm going to go Python 3, manage, migrate. That will just take a couple of seconds. It just goes through all of that. And then Python 3, oops. Manage, load, data, NearBeach fixtures. We've got the GDR wizard. We load that in. Yeah, all right, cool. We don't have a, all right, I'm gonna start up the server. We're gonna go over here. We're gonna hit refresh. We're gonna find a customer. So here's a customer. We're gonna put this customer's name in a couple of projects, tasks, and so forth like that. Some of the projects and tasks will be deleted, some won't be. So we've got to find ones that don't have the stakeholder Robert Gross. All right, straight away, we've got project. I'm just opening, I'm going to close a couple of these tabs. We probably don't need them. So we've got a project, we've got a task. I've got to find a requirement item. RFCs are fine, requirement items. And I think that's about it. So let me have a look. So project, requirement items, and tasks. Sweet. So another thing we could potentially do is if I go back to the customer themselves and I open up the organization, I don't actually have requirement items assigned to them. That's a bit of a problem. So I'm going to close all of these. We're going to deal with this organization. So we've got a project, we've got a requirement, and we've got a task. And from here, we can go organization contacts, and we're going to grab this particular contact. Okay, so we are going to copy this, we are going to remove some of that. We're just going to put their name in like that. Easy done. So this will search for first name, last name, and custom email, and replace it. I mean, I should do this. So, oi! The fuck was that about? Sorry, it just selected everything as I was doing stuff. And then what we do, copy, we just paste it in. We just go update project. We've got a breakpoint, don't we? Just remove that breakpoint and hit play. We'll do the same thing with requirement. This will just make it really easy to find and process. And we'll do the same thing with task. Easy done. So, I now need to find any other object that is not a set. All right, cool. This is a different one. We just fill this out. We go, all right, cool. Yep, different organization. This user won't have access to this organization, so we're making the leap being like, all right, cool. They don't have access to this. We need requirement items too with this. So we shouldn't be deleting this data. This one's currently closed. We'll also need to do that with this one. All right. So our next sort of thing to do is Python 3 manage dump data. Indent. Going to be 2. Format is going to be JSON. We want to output it into NearBeach fixtures. NearBeach GDPR set up. Cool, done. Now we can write our unit tests for this. So I purposely kept all of these open to go, all right, cool. Let's get rid of all of this. So we've got project 37. All right, I'm going to go over here. We're going to do the snapshot first. I'm just going to copy. I'm just going to paste. What we're going to do is we're going to go customer snapshot. Easy done. We're going to add that in. We're going to move that over here. We're just opening this up. The method is different. So admin goes to GDPR and it deletes a customer using the GDPR wizard. 3 system looks for customer name within any object assigned to the organization and strips it out, and then system deletes customer. So that's all it does. What we need to do is essentially we have the following objects that contain the customer's name. Some objects will not. All right, cool. We have the following objects that are assigned to the organization and has the customer details. These will be updated. And then we just have that. We have the following objects that are not assigned to the organization and will not update. And then we key those in. And thank you very much for the follow, Lua Miria. Welcome, welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content. I don't know if you are an ad break or not. So yes, welcome, welcome. All right, whilst that's actually happening like that, I am just going to start copying the customer. I'm just copying these details over very, very quickly, just so everyone can... What the fuck? Sorry, my mouse is going a little weird. It's doing some random stuff at times. It's annoying as hell. Oh, also, for those on YouTube, we run ads on Twitch. Every sort of half an hour to stop the pre-rolled ads. Don't worry, you don't get them. You won't miss out on anything. Alright, so I'm just going to cut that out like that, and I will deal with that in a little while longer. We've got about 6 seconds left. Alright, welcome back everyone. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly copy and paste all of these. This task is... connected to the user. And, oh, I don't know what just happened then, Hashul. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I honestly don't know why your message just got retracted then. That's weird. Alright, I've just realized that when I was doing copying and pasting, my mouse decided to do something weird and close one of the tabs. It did it again. My God, this is getting annoying sometimes. Task information, cool. Requirement, just fuck off. Excuse my French, sorry. Alright, now I've got to find out if these are connected or not. And I had them open for a reason in a particular way. Oh. Okay, the good news is I can just search for them. But now I've got to figure out which one's for which. Lindeberg is what we're deleting. So it is customer 32. Which is part of the Lindeberg. Alright, so requirement information 1 is getting deleted. Which should have that. Alright, 55. Alright, cool. Then, requirement information down here. Now this one is 5. And then the requirement item will be 23. Alright, project, we don't know yet. Task will be 6 most likely. So up here we'll have customer 32. And I don't know the task. And I'm assuming that's 37. So, going back into here, we've only got one project assigned. Oh, I think it didn't save it for the other thing. All right, let's find another project. All right, project 3, not part of yet. All right. Okay, that's done. I closed the tab. That was me then. All right, number 3 is not going to change. Okay, in the search with the task, it's either 6 or 99. So 99 is the one that's going to be deleted. All right, cool. So we've got all that data set. Now I've got to, once again, dump the data and all that kind of stuff. So we've got it in the fixture. So now that that is done, what we want to do is we want to go over here. We want to, that's just the basic setup. This is actually doing the tests. So we want to just thinking. Sorry, I'm just thinking a little bit. Okay, project. Got all the data up here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this reference. I'm going to paste it in. We're going to undo that because, by golly, that looked terrible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, let's just yank those 11 lines. Let's just paste these in like that. So we're just going to do this. We are going to do that, and we're not worried about the customer. What we want is we're going to have requirement1 equals requirement.objects.get pk equals 1. Easy as that. And then we'll have the requirement5 equals the same sort of setup like that. And then what we'll have is requirement item underscore 55 equals requirement. Have I been writing request instead of requirement? All right, let's go down here. We'll need requirement item, customer, and we'll also, actually probably not customer, we'll need task. All right. So we want to get that, and then requirement item. This will be number Yeah, 23. And then we want the project. What was the first one? 37. And then we need project 3. And then we'll need task 6 and task 99. And that's pretty much all of that. And what we need to do now is we just got to assert equals for all the required fields in there that we're going to check in the initial sort of state. And then we do the same thing later. So down here, check all asserts. Check all data is correct. Contains the information. So we should have requirement 1 dot this will be requirement title equals, and we should have the data. So we're gonna have the name. I'm just gonna open up this. I'm just gonna open up this. I'm gonna copy that, and we're just going to put the name in like that. This is just to make life easier. So I'm just gonna put a name. Easy done. And then requirement 1 dot is going to contain. All right, I forgot how to do this in Python. Yep, all right, cool. Word and string. Oh, we should be asserting. Sorry, assert equal. In this sort of case, requirement 1 dot requirement title. That will equal the name. All right, cool. Self assert true. That will be a requirement. That will be name dot to lower. Actually. Because we just copied and pasted, I'm not too worried about lowering everything. Requirement 1 dot requirement. That would not be the description. Requirement scope. Thank you very much. So those are those two. So we've got the title, we've got the scope, and then I'm just going to copy those two. We're going to do that with the requirement 2s. No, sorry, requirement 5s. And then pretty much the requirement items. So I'm just going to do this. I'm cheating now. Easy done. I need to update the fields. All right. Then we just need to do it with the projects, and then the tasks, and so forth like that. Pretty simple sort of stuff. All right, so we're just going to, oops. projects and tasks. We'll fix all of this up in a second. All right, so we've got project 37, so that will be... I was nowhere near the escape button then. I'm not meant to do 6 there, I was meant to do 99. All right, let's fix up all of these particular fields. So with the project, we want project name and project description. So that will be project name, project description. When we actually rewrite the sort of database, these will be generic. So this can actually be done in a loop. But for today, we're just going to do the easy, quick and easy. I'm not worried too much about it. All right, and the best thing is we would essentially redo this. We can actually cut this out. We'll have a def check before running GDPR. Easy done. So we'll run it before and then check after. And what will actually happen is some of these will actually assign to assert false or assert not equals and stuff like that. Yeah, pretty easy sort of stuff. That one is meant to be project name. Cool, which means I gotta update it here to project name. All right, so check baseline. No, it's self. Check before running GDPR. That should be check baseline, really. Easy done. Cool, and then we run the GDPR. However, we are going to do customer 33, I do believe. 32, sorry, my bad. 32, and it's going to be a customer. Easy done. So that gets all done. We're going to assert that is true. Now, that's probably complaining because there's code somewhere else being like, oh, that's all the same. Yeah, I know that. We don't need to do any of that. What we can do is self.check after run GDPR. And that's it. So, going to minimize that. We are going to have a look at requirement 1, requirement item 55, 37 and 99. So, requirement 1, after the baseline, we're going to assert not equal. What the fuck just happened then? So I'm really getting sick with this mouse. First, second, message, all right, cool. And then I've absolutely lost the plot. I think it was 55 that we're pasting that in. Oh, just so sick of this. It's doing it. So 155, 37.99. All right, cool. Now we're going to change these to assert false, because all of these values should have been updated. All right. And then everything else should be fine. And that should be it. So let's test. Python 3 manage test. Alright, so I've done all of that. We're just going to go like that. We're just going to go like that. Yeah, now we just wait for the tests. We've got it failed. That's perfectly fine. We'll find out exactly what failed in a second. All right, one fail. So GDPR wizard tests. Assert equals requirement item 22. Requirement item title equals the name. So let's have a look at requirement item 22. So that would be localhost requirement item information. We said 22, right? 23. No, it isn't, because we didn't end up picking that one. We picked something else, and then the bloody fucking mouse decided to do its shitty thing. And now I've lost all the numbers being correct. So, 254. So, this is requirement item 23. This will be 254. We'll just... And then what we're going to do is we're just going to copy this. We're going to go over here. We are just going to get rid of it. We're pasting that in, and then we're just doing something like that. We're going to hit update requirement. We are going to Python 3 manage dump data. Indent is going to be 2. Format is going to be JSON, and we're going to dump it. We're dumping it into our GDPR fixtures and stuff like that. Oh, go. What are you complaining about? Oi. Dump data. Indent. Sorry, not index 2. Format JSON. Yeah, I'm really tired. I do apologize. All right. Done. Python 3 manage test. All right, we've got an F. That's perfectly fine. In fact, I'm just going to cancel. We're going to find out what it is. So in here, NearBeach snapshot assert equal requirement 254 requirement title equals. Is this not updating? we've got it there. We hit update requirement. No, it is there. All right, what we want is requirement item ID 254. All right, let's find out where I call these things. Where is that? 25R. Done an idiot thing. I forgot to update the reference. All right, cool. Let's just test. Let's hope for the best. I'm gonna head into alright, and then I think I do something like this. We've got an F again. Let's deal with it. Alright, I've probably got headlights again. Requirement 1, requirement title. Alright, assert not equal. Let's double check that that requirement item connects. So is that requirement item or requirement? And Ivan, the raging Python. Welcome, welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content as I try and set up this test. That is frustrating. Information 1. So this one, it should be connected to the Linda Burge, which should also have a connection to number 32. Okay. So we do have those connections. Where's my... I'm just going to get rid of the Data Studio. I don't need it at the moment. So this is saying... Assert not equal this and this. So the requirement title, this should not equal that, but it does after the GDPR wizard. Yeah, that's correct. All of this should be different. Okay. Give me a second whilst I think this through. This could be a problem with the GDPR wizard. Where it should be changing the title, but it just doesn't. All right. But we might not be sending the data to the backend either. All right. Okay. Okay, so we've updated the fixture just recently. I'm going to do a trial run. So customer 32, we're going to go localhost, GDPR wizard. We're going to go delete a customer, and we're like, we're going to go next. Yes. All right, cool. So we do actually have to send objects to the back end. User action required. Please note the following data will need to be revived by a human. There could be false positives within the starter where the text and the descriptions can be overridden. Please uncheck if you do not want the data overridden. So yes. There you go. And then what I want to do is I want to open up one of this. I want to make sure I've got persistent logs. So I'm going to hit next, and then we're going to type in deleting customer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up essentially what we send to the back end. But it didn't send anything. Do we have a bug? Let's go to the left. This customer should no longer exist. Boom. Does not exist. And then if we duplicate this tab, let's go find all objects. Let's go request one. No, it wasn't request one. Let's go back over here to our tests. Let's zoom up. Wrong one. Zoom up. Requirement 1 should be changed. That is not. Okay, so we've got a bug. No issue. GDPR wizard. Customer not sending data to backend for manual for deletion. Method 1, log into NearBeach as an admin. I'm going to check what the time is. Holy hell, no wonder why I'm really tired. It is 10:15. I'm about to finish soon. We're going to do this very quickly. So we're going to put this in. I'm going to put the... I'm probably going to submit this and then fix this issue hopefully tomorrow. And then probably set up the tests for the organizations. Tests for the organization is going to be pretty easy. It's not going to be as complicated as this. And then once all of that is done, I do believe it's time to release the GPR. So once that's done, we're then down to fixing any bugs, shakeout testing, documentation, and code coverage. And that's it for 31. So, and apart from those other little features and stuff like that, that we want to quickly pull through. So, yeah. All right, cool. Log into and go to the GDPR wizard. Delete a user. Expected results when deleting the user. Any ticked objects will be sent payload for actual results. No payload. Alright, cool. So at the moment, this won't work. I'm not going to commit this. Actually, no, I'm going to fix it first. I'm going to fix this call, and then we'll fix that other thing. I forgot to go... Change that. No, I forgot to... Oh, sorry, I'm really, like, tired at the moment. It is definitely showing. I did just create an issue, and I didn't even do a priority or anything like that. This is critical. This is a bug. Actually, no, this is showstopper. This is currently submitted. This is going to be assigned to me. This is going to be part of the GDPR wizard. We're going to fix it in this particular version. Awesome. So. Cool. So we've got 7 bugs at the moment that we've got to fix. Not a problem. We'll get to them. What I want to do is I want to come into here. We want to scroll down to here. So we've got the data. And I'm trying to remember. I think we just send it as an array. So I've got to double check the GDPR wizard backend. So we've got project data requirement, requirement item, and task. Yeah, I think. Project will be 3. Task will be... I'm just copying these once again. I just don't have the brain power at the moment to memorize all of this. Okay, so we'll have project being 37. We'll have task being 99. We'll have requirement being 1, and we'll have requirement item being 55. And then we'll get rid of all of that. All right, let's have a look. I don't know if this will work. We've got an F. So I'm just going to stop there. Yeah, something's broken. Shoot. These might have to be in arrays. Not a problem. We'll just put them quickly in an array. I don't think that will solve that problem, but what we could potentially do is send multiple to the back end. It looks like also I've got to do some negative cases where I don't send some data to the back office. So yeah. All right, we've got an F. So yeah, the GDPR wizard is not doing what we want it to do, which means we've got to fix it. However, it is really late at night. I'm just over it. So yeah. Sorry. All right. Anyone that we want to? All right. I'm just gonna go NSS dev. That's gonna be 10 times easier. All right. Cool. Anyway, thank you very much, everyone. We are getting slowly there. Once the unit tests are done and we're actually happy with this functionality, it will be released. which will be good. And from there, yeah, we just do bug tests, we do shakeout tests. So the shakeout test will also include every other database. So we're going to do Oracle, we're going to do MySQL, MariaDB, Postgres. We always do SQLite. The reason being is we want to make sure this product works across all of them. And then from there, it's literally documentation and more unit tests and code coverage. We're trying to get the code coverage up a lot higher. So yeah, once we're happy with all of that, 0.32 starts. So yeah. Anyway, thank you very much everyone for coming along, and I do hope you enjoy NSS Dev. And sorry for those who are on YouTube, you won't be able to join our raid, but thank you very much for being here, and don't forget to like.